Hello everybody, this is Chaff Commander Coffee back with another episode of Dominions4, Thrones of Ascension, RandomNationGen. We are in the middle of fall. I'm continuing with doing fall in parts. So, this is part 2. We are in the middle of fall. Our research and construction is completed, but we'll need to get it all the way to level 6 to be truly useful. Although I might be able to make some use of it now with my earth gnomes, so we'll see about that later on. Solve has claimed the brass throne. Excellent. A dire portent. We'll have a look at this first before I have a look at my site searching. A dire portent. At the beginning of this month, Bifrons, the Most High, the Evening Star, patron of artisans, cast a great enchantment upon the sky, an enchantment that holds the seed of the omniscience reserved for he that is to rule all. That which is hidden has been revealed to Bifrons. That which is forgotten will be found. You are being watched. Your servants are being watched. Your slaves are being watched. The unblinking eyes of the Lord of Lunawati is ever watching your moves, peering over your shoulders, glaring at you from the sun, watching you from the shadows. By taking the first step towards omniscience, Bifrons has set himself upon a path that, if not blocked, will lead him to ascension. Obviously, there is only one fitting punishment for this grotesque arrogance. You must blind these ever-present eyes. Oh, we will blind these ever-present eyes. I have a very good use for all these fire gems now. Oh yes, and I will explain that after we go through the messages. So, let's get to it. We cast Augury, Gnome Lore, Augury, and some bowls of blood. We found no new magic sites, so we will continue to look. Mamor has found none in Korlumgor. That's alright. We did some blood hunting. We didn't find any in Epernia, but there's no unrest, so we're going to carry on doing that. I'm just going to go through all of my blood hunting sites now. Duvan, 20 unrest. I'm going to have them research. Enemy Dominion here. That's concerning. I wonder where it's all coming from. Over the sea, maybe? It takes a long time for Dominion to spread over the seas, so... Right, we're going to blood hunt with these three, because Brightgate has no unrest. Mexico still has no unrest. And the population isn't dropping, so we're going to keep mercilessly blood hunting in Mexico for about 20 blood slaves a turn. I mean, I'll take that. That's good. Alright, so we'll just have them carry on doing that. An unexpected event has occurred in Kratas. A peddler was peddling his wares in the province when one of your agents discovered a few magic gems of various types among his glass pearls and buttons. They were swiftly and forcefully bought at the price God intended. I got 1 fire gem and 1 nature gem for 1 gold, and I will definitely pay 1 gold for 2 gems. You can actually get a lot more gems from this event, but even 2 gems for 1 gold is worth it. So yes, the price God intended. I intend for all gems to be bought for 1 gold. Seems good. A sneaking enemy was discovered, a scout from Syria. He managed to escape. Never mind. He might have retreated into... No, he probably retreated into a friendly province, so that scout is still on the loose. We're still destroying the fort in Syria. And our patrolling units killed many brigands, and my troops in Korlumgor are starting to starve. Well, we're slightly over the supply limit. I do have a general on the way with extra supplies, but he's a few turns away, so we'll just... I think actually I'm okay with sucking up the negatives to supplies for a few turns, so we'll just have to deal with that. What units do I have that are diseased? These units are diseased. These units are diseased. These units are diseased. He's diseased, and they're not. So I'm just going to have to quickly go through every turn and just take out the diseased units. They will eventually die, so I shouldn't include them in my force markup, if you would. So yes. Right, I'm going to have everyone preach that can, and everyone that can't is going to patrol. I want to try to push my dominion around this land. Make it more habitable for my goblins, because right now the population is dropping rapidly, which is not good. Need to spread some growth there. Alright, I have a scout ready to move into the cave system. It's going to take him a few turns to get down there. There's no more... Yeah, there was no more messages to read. There's actually no battles this turn, which is quite interesting. So we'll just carry on sieging. Syria's, again, the Dominion's still there. We're going to preach it down, though. Hopefully we can preach a bit of it down. I'm going to boost the protection in Belmar to... I'll just boost it to 10. I think that's fine. Now I am going to want to build... Sorry, I'm just taking a look around my provinces for their province defense. This has no province defense in Runia. They have no people there because of all this death, which is very annoying. Alright, let's go through the recruitment that I've been doing. Some more heavy cavalry. Nom has some more heavy cavalry. I have no commander here to take them right now, so don't know if I want to recruit another one. We'll worry about that later. Got some more spearmen to add to this regiment. Is it that regiment? Yeah, he's now up to 40 spearmen, that's fine. So we've got a lot of people who can do patrolling in Mexico, just to make sure that blood hunting stays efficient. We did do some recruiting here. So we might need another commander in Saltnham. Could move back one of these commanders who has no men right now. No, all of my useful command. Oh, I have Askel Lapos. He has no soldiers right now. So I would rather just pull back the commander who's not doing anything rather than... Yes. Right, you can come back towards... You can go to Devan, you can pick up some heavy cavalry if I don't need them for patrolling. And we're going to carry on recruiting scouts, sacred units. They moved most of their army away, but there's still this sort of standoff near Golden Range, which is quite concerning. In fact, I want to recruit a level 2 priest in Golden Range this turn, and just have them preach, just to make sure my Dominion stays high here. It's important that the borders have strong Dominion, so I will train a priest, proper level 2 priest. And also, if their enemy Dominion does spread here, they are an Inquisitor, so they should preach it away very quickly. So we will do that. We did get a lot more units to give to this new command. Yes, the High Chieftain. Between the Swordsman and the Colossi Axeman. Got another 25 archers to put in there. Another 3 spearmen. Ergen, he has alright equipment. I'll give him the Horn of... I'll give him the first Horn of Valor as well. Because he is leading 105 goblins and he has some supply bonus as well, so Ergen's actually a solid commander for me now. He does the job he needs to. He does it quite well. I don't know if I want to mass more men in Golden Range or many more men in Golden Range. So what I will do is possibly give that the new Scepter of Authority to one of the commanders in Mexico, so I have a standing force here as well. I might give it to this mounted commander here, since he's only leading Goblin Spearmen right now. But I could make this force of Goblin Spearmen. I could get like 100. You get like 100 Goblin Spearmen. You could lead like 100 of them, and then I could just shuffle those Spearmen around as like a solid front line for whatever force I need. So we're going to just mass recruit some Spearmen here. We're going to start getting loads of Goblin Spearmen in Mexico. I'm actually going to stop recruiting the Wizard there as well. I'm going to just go through my provinces, see where I'm recruiting Wizards, and just halt them for the time being, because we have so many Wizards and the upkeep is going up quite a lot on them. I want to be more selective. I don't want to keep recruiting all of these level 1 Blood Mages when I'm soon going to be able to start fielding my Paramount Sun Pontifexes in vast quantities, actually. As soon as I can deal with their age, they're slow to recruit, but I can recruit them anywhere. So I can start mass recruiting my top level Wizards, which is pretty powerful. I will need to cement my lands by putting temples in all of my castles, but that's a good idea anyway. So I will need to start getting a priest in this province would be nice. Do that, and Nom can train priests. I think I'm going to train a level 1 acolyte in Nom, and he's going to move around building those temples that I need. I think that's what I'll get him to do. This priestess, she's not actually commanding any units right now. I'm going to just reform this army. Oh no, they were the diseased units. What am I doing? Yeah, sorry, I totally forgot those were the diseased units. What is this random regiment in? Yeah, that should be fine. I think I'm going to actually just get rid of this lure. I don't think I need it. We have a plan. I am going to need to make the center easy for my men to get through, though. My sacred goblins. So I think I might move these men off center as well, just to guard the flank. I think Hergny's a fine candidate for guarding the flank, especially with if I have my wizard here as well. Put him slightly further back. Now, Eliatos has no soldiers either, so I think I'm going to move him to Belmar. Maybe see if this province needs some more building, some construction done in it. That might be necessary. He's also just a free commander to just have lying around when I need him. But I will move this priestess as well. I'm going to move her to Belmar to start getting rid of this this Syrian Dominion. Start removing that. My high priestesses are good for their inquisitor ability. Now I've got quite a lot, mostly wizard commanders with nothing to do. So I had a few people casting Bowl of Blood that I don't think need to do it anymore. So there was one mage over here. Yeah, you can research. This is level 1 mage. I'm going to have my Lion Tribe Witch Doctors crafting useful nature items. I want one to craft me an endless bag of wine. I'm going to have the one in Nom craft me a Horn of Valor. I'm going to have my Blood Mages craft some other different items. I'm going to have them craft me Jars of Fire, I think. Jars of Fire. Solve down here. Now we do want to build a castle here. Unfortunately, that's going to take some time. Now we don't see any men in the Underdark, so what I'm going to do is move the scout back to Miledeep, and I'm actually going to just have Solve. Now this might be dangerous if they have an army in Miledeep moving down, but I don't think that's the case. So we are just going to attack the Underdark with Solve. I think he's fine to march out and take land on his own. I don't think he even needs to cast Prison of Fire. He can just immediately just go in and start trashing people. He should be fine. He's actually gained loads of experience now, so his stats are a lot higher than they were at the start of the game. So that should help as well. Right. So we have 2 wizards not doing anything. I've got 1 wizard here, who I believe he was just forging items. But I have a plan. Right. I'm going to give this wizard a flaming helm. I'm going to give this wizard a flaming helm. And the 2 of them are going to cast Bind Devil every month. Every month. Until they have a decent number of devils. That way I can start using my Bloodslave income and also improve my... because as these commanders are flying and can lead demons, each of them can spend, what, 10 turns summoning demons, and then they can fly around with a small strike squad of demons. And they even have enough blood magic to cast Bloodlust, the Blood Force spell. Bloodlust. It only costs 1 Bloodslave, and I think all of the demons get +4 to their strength, but it could be more than that, I'm not sure, but I think it's +4. So yes, they can literally fly around with 10 devils and 1 blood slave, and they still make a pretty decent attack force. Devils nothing to sniff up at, especially against a nation that's not fire resistant like the Syrians. They will do a lot more damage to the enemy's lines. Now I only have this last line tribe to craft something with, and I think I'm going to craft that Axe of the Berserker for my barbarian chieftain here. I mean, he's already berserked with the pelt, but I could swap the pelt for something else. I could swap the pelt for I could swap the thorn staff as well, so I will give the pelt to someone else if I ever choose to give the pelt to anyone. I mean, the berserker pelt's not that great an item, to be honest. It's not amazing. Unless you really need a commander to go berserk just so they don't rout, which means it is a viable item for the arena because you don't want your fighter to rout in the arena. But it's still not that amazing. Now, with all my commanders given commands, and I've trained all my units, I haven't actually spent too much time on this episode, but I do want to showcase what I was talking about. Now, Bifrons, the god. This is actually the god of, or the pretender rather, silly pretender, of Lunawatia here, has cast the Eyes of God spell. I believe that's Thaumaturgy, or is it enchantment? Yeah, it's enchantment. Eyes of God, level 5. It allows the mage to see all provinces in the world. Dominions can be seen in great detail, and so can discovered magic sites, but income cannot be determined exactly. Inside the god's own dominion, troop movements can be seen in great detail, and enemy illusions and phantasms are dispelled. Patrolling units will find it much easier to detect enemy scouts and to quell unrest. Historic records of all nations can also be accessed. The enchantment lasts until someone dispels it or the caster dies. Now, it's a very powerful enchantment. In fact, it's the kind of enchantment that if you cast it in a multiplayer game, everyone will have a great urge to kill you. If you're winning the game, it is a very powerful enchantment. It's very, very useful. But people will want to try and cast Dispel, which destroys active global enchantments. However, this requires astral magic. Now I could, using the astral gems I've been saving, I can level up my enchantment magic, but it will have to level it all the way up to enchantment 5, which will be useful, so we will do it at some point, and I could get Mamor to cast it. However, he's not going to be around very long, especially I'm probably not going to pay for him long enough to keep him all the way to enchantment 5. So, we have another option. Fire magic has its own special way, and I think it's here, yes. Fire magic has its own special way of dealing with the Eyes of God enchantment. Fate of Oedipus. It requires 4 fire magic, which my god Solve has. The caster, it costs 75 fire gems, which is quite expensive, but we have those many fire gems. The caster punishes a mage for having claimed the Eyes of God. The mage's eyes are blasted by brilliance, his sockets emptied forever, and the Eyes of God no longer observe the world. The spell can only be cast if the Eyes of God enchantment is active. So, I'm going to quickly, since getting level 4 evocation is only going to take 2 turns, and level 4 evocation will also give me access to a bunch of quite cool fire spells, such as Fire Cloud, as well as Breath of the Desert, which is a fire spell you can cast on the strategic map. It causes a dramatic rise in temperature, which is not great for my nation, but I could use it in a pinch to block rivers off. If my dominion spreads over the river and causes it to be cold, I can cast Breath of the Desert to increase the heat in that dominion instead, and then stop the river from being crossed. Or I could use it for a surprise attack over the mountains here. So they have Modi seems to have a cold dominion as well. Now, if I cast the spell multiple times to increase the heat in Kratas and Northangs, I could cross the mountain. It's a bit, it's a bit unorthodox, and I can just march from golden range, but it has uses like that. And being a cold Dominion, it's very hard for me to get inside of mountains. So I could use it to access the mountain provinces in the game as well. Like, there's a mountain province up here. So there are uses for it. And I may end up using it for some sort of niche thing like that. But there's other Evocation 4 things that would be useful as well. We have no access to astral magic, so Flaming Meteor is unfortunately off limits, which it's a very cool spell from Magic Enhanced. It's kind of like Gifts from Heaven. Gifts from Heaven fires 3 meteors. Flaming Meteor is only 1, and it's incredibly inaccurate. Gifts from Heaven, yeah, it's the same terrible accuracy as Gifts from Heaven. But it has a large area heat shock. So it's easier for a Fire Wizard to get, a Fire Astral Mage to get Flaming Meteor than it is Gifts from Heaven. But Gifts from Heaven does more damage. It doesn't have the heat shock though. But Flaming Meteor with only 50 damage, you can't like just instantly splat pretenders or thugs with it. So yes, it's better against chaff armies, but Gifts from Heaven is certainly more effective against bigger targets, or if you just have, you know, Earth Communions, it's good. Anyway, back to Evocation 4. I will also get access to Blade Wind, which is a brilliant Earth spell for clearing chaff, or killing archers, that as well. And Breath of the Dragon, which I'm not sure how useful this will be, but I may get, I mean, Oak Strong does stand at the front of the army, so Breath of the Dragon might be a spell that he can cast as the enemies close in on him. Touch attack spells are generally, or not touch attack, but low range spells are generally quite hard to use in Dominions, because you don't want your wizards to get that close, because they'll die to, well, getting in melee combat. But for thugs, short range spells can actually be really powerful, because they are built to get inside of a group of units. And then if you open up a fight with something, like, instead of casting lightning bolts and things, you can cast Shockwave, which does more damage and has a higher area of effect. But it can only be cast at range 2. So you would have to have an air mage like jump into an enemy force and cast Shockwave. But that is a viable tactic. In fact, it's quite powerful. It costs very little fatigue, so you can kill large amounts of units by spamming Shockwave in the middle of them. Things like that. So we may get to use Breath of the Dragon as well. So yeah, we get some useful spells from Evocation 4, and we can blind the dirty god of Lunawati who decided he was omniscient. He's not omniscient, and we're going to prove the error of his ways by burning his eyes out. I mean, that's what you get for being an arrogant, very high level astral mage, I suppose. That is what you get. So, with that being the end of the turn, I'm going to end the episode, and I will be working on the next part, the end of Fall. This is the message screen. I'll just leave it here for you. I think the most interesting thing, which I will just note on this message screen, is the entrance to the fortification in Syria has been breached. We can storm the fort any time now. Any time we like. We can quash the final bastion of resistance of the Syrians and claim ownership of our entire region. Once we've pushed them into the depths of the world, it will only take a short time to properly remove any Syrian influence. So I feel victory is close. Possibly, if I decide to, we could invade during Fall. Although, there is something that makes me want to wait, and I'll come back to that in the next episode. It's been me, Chaff Commander Coffee, and I'll see you later. Thanks for watching.